All right, let's go ahead and break down this Friday's recap here and see what is going on, guys. So we have a lot of nothing, to be honest. You have pretty much the top here. We double topped, and then you did have it run down pretty good here in the morning, but it did throw the brakes on. I do have the weekly level set up right now. You can see them. This is that the mid execution zone that's kind of in the middle of the noise here, and then you had the actual mid of last week's candle. So we're in between the top of the candle and the middle of that body of last week. Of course, this week we're on Friday, so we're coming here down into the end. So you can see here on the 15-minute, basically what I did is I went ahead and looked at here in the morning, and I went ahead and looked at these key areas from early the last 4 hours and just kind of marked them out here with these dotted lines just to kind of see how price action was going to react here in the morning. And I got my key levels built out, just the breakout and breakdown for the day, and then went ahead and started trading. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the weekly off here. You can see that up here was the breakout area for the daily support and or daily resistance, and down here was the daily support. So it was pretty much, it had a big range that it could go into. So pretty much you're looking at 115 300 all the way up to about 117,340. Now we did have some bigger possible levels here, so we're looking around the 118,250 range that we could have broke out and headed on up to this morning. So really, though, when you look at it, that's kind of why I drew these lines on here early in the morning to see which way we were going to break out. When we started to break down through here, I did start to wonder if we were going to go ahead and start running, and that could have been a possible trade. As you can see, though, it just started to, on the 15-minute, it just went for it, found an area, bounced, and then came right back up, and created a lower high, or higher low, sorry, off of this last higher high off the breakout area. And the way this reacted, I expected this to come back up and take out this area up in here again and clean this area out. Now, we'll have to watch. It still has the longer time frames. The 1 hour still is looking more bullish right now, so it's the 4 hour. It does have a little bit more of a push in it. Now, it may just come up here and break out, and that would be the end of the day or the end of the move. We're kind of sitting in that area, so we'll have to kind of watch. But yeah, if you're looking at price action today and you're trying to find trade potential, we could go into the 5-minute, and you could trade off the 21, but you need to use your levels. And if you're looking here in the morning, it was sitting up right through here. You needed to get above your 200 because the 200 was pushing down on it at the time. You did start getting the buy signal in the breakout, so you could have started looking to get in right here with your stop down here, and that would have been a nice move up. Now, the pitfall of that trade, if that's what you were looking at doing, you would have been looking for this to go up into this range. As you can see, it wicked up and came back down, and the frustrating part for you to have to get out is down here, so it's in the red, so you would take a small loss. But that's why you want to take that loss, though, because you would have lost a lot more if you didn't. It ran up. It would have been a nice little profit if you end up taking it out, but the way that candle is, I don't blame you if you were waiting for it to break on up. That is a key level for you. And now, if you were watching the this major support area that had broke through, this is really where it broke through hard, and that's kind of what created that level. And after the fact, it's easier to see that. But during the actual live, more than likely, you would have expected that to run up, come back and test this area and push on up. Went ahead and broke down. Now here on the 5-minute, I'm just going to stay here now for you, but we started to break down out of the breakdown trigger here, and then we back tested up through here. Now this wouldn't really let us trade this as well either. It hasn't really confirmed because your 21 hasn't started to roll back over. It's kind of gone flat. So this could have actually came right through here, built right here, and then broke right on up and headed on out. That's why I wouldn't touch that. I would want this to do exactly what you saw here, broke up, back tested. So if you were going to look at taking this trade, this is basically the candle you would have got in. Again, you would have went up against the breakout trigger, and then you would have created a level wherever you wanted that you saw fit. Now, like someone like myself that marks out my charts, I would have been looking out for this to go down in this area. Obviously, as it broke down, I might have got out a little bit earlier. If you go out to the 15-minute, there is that 200 right there. Is something to be paying attention to when you're trading. But right in there, that's still a good little trade. Would have definitely made up for the loss for you. And then you could have looked at the rest of the price action if you were going to get back in. This rebuilt. Now you can't get in, or my rules say you can't get in because you're underneath. You're above the 21. That's a great little run, but you're still below the 200. So this really is a no man's land. It's 50-50. It could be bullish, could be bearish. So I have to wait. Well, it finally breaks up, and it's all looking pretty good. But when it back tests here, it just fell right back through, and then it kind of grinded. But this is actually when it starts to look pretty juicy again, right through here. and you could have looked at taking the trade up through this level. Everything was turning and going up very strong, and you could have taken advantage of this price action right through here. You could have traded originally off of this, or just ran it all the way up and then watched it trade out. Then it lost the 21 again, and now it's trading back down and testing the 200. So it's kind of back into this noise again that we were originally looking at. And this could start to break on down. We'll have to kind of watch it, or it could bounce it up. It's in between a lot of this higher high, a lower high, then higher low, but then you had a lower high here. So it's kind of building, and then this actually broke this area here. This did break out. So this could create another lower high, and this could start to build out more. So we'll just have to watch and see. This is why Friday you just want to be take your profits when you can. This is pretty common price action for a Friday, but that is about it, guys. Enjoy the weekend, relax, be careful trading on the weekends like we talked about in the past. Sometimes that's great moves, you get frustrated because you wish you were in it, but hey, that's a lot of the times overall the weekends aren't the time to trade. So anyway, guys, we will see you for the weekend recap here coming up at the beginning of the week. And other than that, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions. Like always, guys, thank you much, and happy trading.